Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on special numbers in real life. In real life we have many different words that describe numbers. The words may vary depending on the situation. The following words are linked to some popular numbers. The number one example is you can score a single point in tennis. So a single point means 1 point. The number 2 can be associated with a pair of socks. There are 2 of them. A couple of cats. The word couple is 2. To perform a duet. That's 2 people. If you play doubles in tennis, a team consists of 2 people. The number 3 can be associated with a trio, a threesome. So, for example, you could have 3 people in the band. Or if you play triples in lawn bowls, there are 3 people in a team. The number 4 can be associated with a foursome in a card game, or a quadrilateral, which is a plane shape which has 4 sides. The number 5 can be associated with a pentagon, which has 5 sides, or it can be associated with the number of weekdays, that is Monday to Friday. 6. The number of runs scored in cricket when the ball is hit over the ropes. That's one example of 6. 7. One example is the days in a week. Number 8. An octagon has 8 sides, and the legs on a spider or octopus. Each of those has 8 legs. Number 9. A cat has 9 lives. That's an interesting expression we use in life. Or we have the cat o' nine tails, which is this instrument here, which we used to be used to punish people in the old days. I don't think it's used these days. 10. A decade is 10 years. A decagon has 10 sides. Or 10 can be associated with 10-pin bowling, because you've got 10 pins. 12. A dozen eggs. That's a dozen. Number of months in a year. 13 is an unlucky number for many people, or it could mean a baker's dozen. Basically, in the old days, when you used to buy a dozen of something, you got an extra one. That was like a little bonus, so 13 was a baker's dozen. 14 can be associated with the number of days in a fortnight. 18 is associated with adulthood in many countries. So when you reach 18, you can vote and do other special things. The number 20, another special name for the number 20 is score. So 1 score is actually 20. 21, that is considered adulthood in some countries. But these days, it's also 18. But many years ago, if you turned 21, that was considered adulthood. The number 24 is associated with the number of hours in one day. 25 is a quarter of a century. 26 is the maximum points in a game of hearts. That's a card game. 28 is the number of days in February, which is a non-leap year. 30. Now 30, you've heard the little saying, 30 days has September, April, June and November. So the number 30 is associated with the number of days in those months. 31, so most months have 31 days, except these 4 and this one. 40, that's 2 score, because if 1 score is 20, then 2 20s are 40. 50 is a half a century, and you also celebrate a golden jubilee. That's a very special celebration for something that's lasted for 50 years. Could be a wedding or something special. 52 is the number of cards in a regular deck. So a regular deck of cards, not counting the joker, has 52 cards in it. 60 is 3 score, 3 times 20, or it's a diamond jubilee. So when you celebrate a diamond jubilee, that is 60 years. 80, 4 score, 4 20s are 80, and if you If you are 80 years old, you are an octogenarian. That's very special. 90 is sometimes referred to as 410. That's 4 times 20 plus 10. That gives you 90. 100 is a century in cricket, which is a special score, or a centenary, celebrating 100 years of some special event. 101, there's a movie called 101 Dalmatians. 128 is the number of singles players in Grand Slam tennis matches. So the 4 Grand Slam tennis matches all start with 128 players in singles. 147 is the maximum score in snooker. That's a very special score, and you have to be very talented to score that number. 200 is a double century, 300 is a triple century, and 1000 is called a millennium, and that represents 1,000 years. So can you think of any other special numbers that can be associated with real life situations?